Our next speaker is going to be Lorraine. Now, as Lorraine says, she works with refugees and asylum seekers, etc. Over to you, Lorraine.
Thank you, Maureen. Yes, it is Black History Month, but Black history is very current, isn't it? It's 2020, but Black people are still dying at the sea. It's 2020, and we have to have organizations like Black Lives Matter, which again, people endlessly complain about all lives matter. Or if refugees are housed, we hear about how about our own homeless people. But let's face it, these people, they never cared about anybody's life, not even Black lives. All they cared for is about their own lives. We live in a world where because you're Black and you were born somewhere else, not here, you cannot work, you cannot access medical care, you shouldn't be existing anyway. In 2020, hostile environment exists and it has just gained, it's a new lease of life with Priti Patel. But she isn't getting it in her own way with her nasty rhetoric. Coventry is a seat of sanctuary and it remains so. Ordinary people do extraordinary things to support others in direct defiance of the government that hates asylum seekers and refugees. Black people are at the forefront of doing essential work fighting coronavirus. We are here because at the height of the British Empire, the sun never set and the blood never stopped. It never dried. That was our blood. So for me, to hell with the empire, but I celebrate the resistance of the movements who fought against slavery. William Caffey, who was a Chartist reader in the early Victorian, he was a London Black man. In London, he was a Black man. Mary Prince, the first Black woman to publish her own life story. Otoba Kuguano, the first African to publicly demand the total abolition of slavery. Olaudah Equiano, a campaigner and a writer. Ruiz Selete Resene, a fugitive who proved his innocence. So look them up, and don't tell me about William Wilberforce and the British Parliament abolishing slavery. They are the ones who introduced slavery, and they are put at the center in the history of the abolition of slavery. It's like myself putting my high heels on your face and then expecting you to thank me for taking off the heel off your face. So let's get back to the current history. Ordinary people are creating extraordinary progressive movements, and here are some of the movements that I want you to join and sign up for the cause. One is the Fairer Immigration Reform Movement, in short, FIRM. The FIRM Charter, the aim is to support the reforms for a fairer immigration system. Please look it up, Fairer Immigration Reform Movement, FIRM Charter. Number two is the Status Now for All campaign, which is a campaign by us undocumented people, as well as our allies. We are asking the UK government and Ireland to give leave to remain to people who are still in the system, to those who have been refused, to undocumented people. And the final ask from me tonight is this Friday, can you please join us? We'll be at the cathedral steps, where we are holding vigils. We are marking 10 years since the killing of Mr. Jimmy Mubenga, who was an Angolan man. He was killed when G4S guards were trying to deport him. So please, if you can join us this Friday from 12:30 at the cathedral steps. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Lorraine.